right, boys, let's get started on our tier list of Yakuza 0 styles. Let's start with Brawler. I, for one, really like this style. It feels like it would be how Kiryu actually fights before he gets his training from Komaki, while still feeling very similar to other versions of Kiryu. What are your thoughts?
Sleepy Joe, you would have to call me Sleepy Donald if you ever made me use Brawler. It's such a basic style that has nothing fun or unique, especially compared to the raw speed and power from Beast and Rush. This is an easy C tier.
Donald, what are you talking about? This is at least an A tier. The style is insanely flexible with good crowd control while also being speedy, and is good for boss fights. At least you can still use Brawler on low heat compared to Beast and Rush that both need at least 2 bars to be nearly fast enough to combo.
Hey Joe, have you seen a fully upgraded Rush in action? You can't be touched, you move so fast. I don't know how you can say that about Rush. For Beast, it doesn't even matter that you're slow. That's the point. You just have armor and do so much damage. Brawler is so mid compared to both of those.
Donald, the point is that you won't be able to do anything against bosses without heat mode in those styles. In the case of Rush, some of your combos are literally too slow to hit, while Beast doesn't even have any armor without heat, so good luck getting out a single strong attack. Brawler is the ultimate jack-of-all-trades style, and for that it deserves at least B, if not A.
Hard C, but whatever, let's move on. I've got to say that Rush is definitely at least A. It's got the speed, the combos, the dodging capabilities. You feel like such a fluid fighter.
I don't know, Donald. Like I said earlier, without heat, so many of your combos suck against bosses. Rush is good above level 2 heat, but before then your attacks are almost as slow as Beast, and it's not worth it for the minuscule damage.
Minuscule damage? Have you seen the combo route, Sleepy Joe? You can get behind an enemy and punch them for so long that you wipe out their entire health bar. Rush is by far the best style for bosses. It's quick, allows you to escape danger, and allows you to perform big combos. Also, how else are you going to gain heat besides hitting an opponent, Joe? You have to use the slow moves to get to the quick, stylish, fast ones.
You ever heard of a Torrenter, Donald?
Oh, sure. Use the medicine items in fights. Be a pussy. You act like it's impossible to do anything on 0 heat, but to me, this just sounds like a skill issue. How about you get good at avoiding and landing blows to gain heat instead of abusing items to get there?
You know what, whatever. I don't really fucking care anymore. We can put this slow-ass style in B. Can we at least agree that Beast is completely terrible? Put it in C and be done?
Sleepy Joe, you better wake the fuck up on Beast's potential. It's probably Kiryu's best style. It does insane damage, has some of the best weapon attacks in the series, and has tons of extremely useful heat actions and counterattacks. If you don't put this in the top tier right now, I'm fucking done.
Donald, I'm concerned that you've never used these styles outside of max heat and all abilities. Beast is terrible against all the bosses unless you're on max heat, which you instantly lose once the bosses hit you while you armor through. And half of the good moves and counterattacks you talked about are locked behind stage 3 heat. Once you use them, you're back to molasses speed. Have you tried to use Beast against Kuze or Shibusawa without heat? It's impossible.
Have you ever considered that not everything is about heat, Sleepy Joe? And that not every enemy is a boss? Beast is by far the best style for street encounters, long battles, and even for cheesing the hardest boss in the game. So, Aman, there is no way that we put Beast in anything but S tier.
You know what, Donald? Whatever, we can put your dog shit style in A. This list would be wildly different if you weren't here.
Okay, well, I feel like our next placement is pretty easy. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Joe?
I think so, Donald.
Rolling eyes fall. Ruling dies out.
All right, let's move on to Ma then. What do you think of Thug? I personally think that it's super overrated. His other 2 styles are way more interesting and have a lot more options when compared to Thug.
I agree with you that his other styles are definitely more interesting, but Ma has a lot of options while using the Thug style. For one, it's pretty quick, allowing for short, medium damaging combos that give a good amount of heat. This complements the style's unique heat actions, like the one where he sneaks behind someone and snaps their neck, or the head bashing one on the wall.
That's fair, but when you have the combo potential from the other 2, Thug just gets totally outshined. Me personally, I think that we should just have our first C tier and move on. But I know you'll probably have some whack-ass opinion.
There is no way you just said that thug is our first C tier. It deserves at least B with the unique moves, long combos, and good damage. You are just too slugger-pilled to see it.
You know what, Donald? Fuck you. I'm putting it in C where that scum belongs. You forced me to put Brawler in B. I get to put Thug in C. Moving on to Slugger now, I think that it has to be at least an A tier style. It has the damage, combo routes, good heat buildup, and good heat actions to follow up with the buildup. You'd better agree.
You know what? For once, I do agree with your usually terrible opinion. Let's put it in A and move on to Breaker, which I think is another easy A.
Honestly, I might even say this is another S. It's got the damage, speed, unique combos, and fluidity that you would want. And it even comes with a counter. This is easily the best style for clearing out hordes of enemies.
I'm okay with putting it in S as well. With that settled, let's move on to the final style.
This one is pretty obviously his
best style by far.
Wait,
what? How the fuck do you call this Ma-G Ma's worst style? It's one of the most iconic styles in the series, and it is so cool to control for once. The damage is decent, the speed is pretty good, the heat action, you know which one is one of the most damaging and coolest heat actions in the series, and it's just cool as fuck.
Notice how you didn't use the word great in there once when describing the style, Donald? It's because the style is the most mediocre letdown of a fan service style that I have ever seen. Compared to all the other styles, this one has low damage, high heat requirements, and such a low selection of actually useful, unique moves that it's depressing. The only reason to use this style is to use that heat action and then switch back to the good ones.
This is such a large skill issue that it's actually insane. This style has the strongest counter in the game. Maybe if you weren't napping all the time, you would actually land it. The extra swings you can use after a finisher are very unique due to their speed and are very useful for finishing off enemies. You missed the point of the style entirely, Joe, and if you put it in anything besides S, I'm done with this call.
You know what, Donald? I really don't care anymore. You just have the worst opinions on the planet sometimes. I'll just put it in C where it belongs, and we can move on to the Kiwami styles from there.
Joe, I swear to God, if you so much as move your cursor with that style towards C, I am so fucking... Oh, all right, then I'm out of here. Fuck you.
God, good fucking riddance. That guy is just the fucking worst at times.
Holy cow, this tier list is dog shit. Can we please move Slugger and Legend to F? Rush for life.